Good morning. Welcome to your daily dose of God time. Been in Guatemala the last week. We did a best of last week on YouTube. By the way, if you ever want to make sure you never miss an episode, even of the reruns, go to YouTube, subscribe on the Daily God Time YouTube page. It's the best place of all to make sure that you never miss an episode. Well, today we're in 1 Samuel 18:8. It says, "Then Saul became very angry, for this saying displeased him, and he said, They have ascribed to David 10,000s, but to me they have ascribed thousands." Have you ever noticed there are certain sins people just don't like to admit are problems for them? Jealousy seems to be one of those sins. People will readily admit to having struggles with worry or lust or fear or unbelief, pride or selfishness, but not with jealousy, not with envy. As one envious man defensively told me in a meeting, he says, "Well, I know that I'm not jealous." "Oh, really?" To quote William Shakespeare, "Methinks thou dost protest too much." Well, Saul was green with envy over David. He hated the woman's song. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. Big question. Do you think Saul would have admitted he was jealous over David? Never. Why is that? Admitting jealousy reveals a great insecurity and a very rotten heart. And no one really wants to admit to having that kind of heart. Our pride kicks in at the thought of being jealous, and we say, "Who, me? Nah, no way." The truth is that many of us struggle with jealousy, and pastors can be the worst offenders. So let's give a jealousy test. 1, is there someone in your life, maybe a friend, a sibling, a coworker, a classmate, a teammate, or a competitor, whom you always seem to compare yourself to, resulting in pride? "Yes, I'm doing better than you are." Or depression. "You're doing better than I am." Or second, is there someone in your life who always seems to get the breaks and just makes you sick because you never seem to get them? Or third, is there someone in your life who you secretly desire to see fail and fall flat on their face? Fourth, is there someone in your life whom you have anger toward because people are singing louder and longer about him or her than they are for you? Is there someone you have great trouble rejoicing with when something good happens with them? Could it be that you, like Saul, are, dare I say it, jealous? So how do you overcome this green-eyed monster of jealousy? By nature, I'm a very competitive person. In everything I do, I want to win. If the women of Israel are going to sing a song about slaying the Philistines, I want to be the one slaying 10,000s, not 1,000. I want to be David, not Saul. What about you? Well, my competitiveness can be easily led to jealousy if I'm not careful. When I catch myself failing the jealousy test, I have to quickly do the following to rid my heart of that poison. So what do you do to rid yourself of the green-eyed monster? First, you got to quit comparing. I'm not to be concerned with being the best. I'm to make sure that I always do my best. Do you see the difference between those two things? In Matthew 25, Jesus told a great parable of the talents. The king was going on a long journey and entrusted his talents, a large sum of money, to his 3 servants. One man got 5, another got 2, another got 1. Obviously, the guy who started with 1 could never outdo the guy who started with 5. He couldn't be the best and the biggest producer in that parable. But he was not in competition with the other guys. The Lord wasn't concerned about the 1 talent guy beating the other guys. He was concerned about him doing his best, not being the best. At the end of life, the big questions from the Lord will be simply this: what did you do with what I gave you? Did you do your best and step out in faith? Did you use that 1 talent to the full, to the glory of God? Or did you bury it in the ground, grumbling the whole time that you never get a break, or that others get more than you do, and that God is just not fair? Brother, quit comparing and start using what you have been given. Do your best and leave the results to God. So the first thing you have to do is you have to quit comparing. The second thing you have to do is you have to start realizing. Realize your job on earth is to please God, not to be the undisputed champion in every field of competition. When you focus on pleasing God, you keep your eyes on where they should be, on God and off other people. And when you really focus on pleasing God, you do your best and you forget about being the best. Saul's life was a tragedy of epic proportions because jealousy consumed him. He could have had a great reign, utilizing a gifted champion like David to the full in his kingdom. Instead, he spent the vast majority of his 40-year reign as a jealous despot, living in living a life full of misery, anger, bitterness, paranoia, and distance from God. What a sad picture of the ravaging effects of jealousy. Don't let jealousy eat your lunch like it ate Saul's. Quit comparing, start realizing, and enjoy a life. Live for the glory of God and the fame of His name. Let me pray for you today. Father, I thank you so much that your goodness is better than life itself. And Lord, you are good to us. And we're to be concerned, Lord, with living our life for your glory, not for comparing with others and not to beat others, but so that we make the most of every wonderful gift you give us. And like the parable says, to whom is faithful with that, you're going to give some more. So, Father, help us maximize what you give us so that we can do even more to bring you great glory and make Jesus even more famous on this planet than he already is. May you, Jesus, be glorified by us. It's in your name I pray. Amen. Well, I hope you have an incredible day. Love God. Love one another. Now, go be salt and light.